Wait, people still try to trash talk Luka? Nobody is better at talking trash and backing it up than Luka. And if you try talking trash back, nobody is better at making you look foolish. Just take it from Rudy Gobert. Is there anybody more unlikable in the league than Rudy Gobert? It started all the way back in Gobert's Utah days. Gobert said something a little too far and Luka wanted a piece.
Luka short on the attempt at the buzzer. And so we reach halftime. It's the Mavericks 60, the Jazz 49. As we go to halftime, here's a word from Academy Sports and Outdoors.
What do you think Rudy said to him? Or was Luka still just mad at Rudy for giving the NBA COVID? Either way, that wasn't the last time the two went at it. In a matchup between the Mavs and the Timberwolves, the big man started talking trash to Luka again. And again, he apparently crossed a line.
When you start that, coming back to you.
Whatever Rudy said, it ticked Luka off. He went nuclear. And after that moment, he hit 5 threes and scored 34 points against the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. But you already know that wasn't the end for these two. Keep watching to see the best Luka Gobert moment. The funniest thing is, that's not even the greatest Luka rivalry. Does that belong to Pat Bev?
And then Pat Beverley gets in his grill, and here we go.
And just like we talked about Luka just smiling about it, that's what you got to do. That's what Patrick Beverley is out there for.
Patrick Beverley has a job for one reason: to tick dudes off. He plays hard to the point of annoying. And here, Luka had enough, and he just kept doing it. Luka proved that Pat Bev is just too small, but Beverley proved that he can get under a goat's skin. You don't always have to be the best to earn time on the floor. Sometimes you just need to be the best at one thing. And that one thing for Beverley is riling up superstars. Luka and Pat Bev met up in 2 straight playoffs, with Beverley's Clippers taking both matchups. But Luka averaged a 31-10-9 in 2020, and then 36-8-10 in 2021. So who really won that matchup? While Pat is too small to guard Luka consistently, more of just a nuisance, Terrence Mann has generally been the Clippers' answer to Luka, and that's using that word loosely. This all began way back when Mann was a rookie. Now Luka was still young, but he was Luka. You don't smack the ball out of Luka's hands and live to tell the story. Next time around, the Clippers stuck their Luka stopper on him for a possession. Luka posted him up like a child, backed him down, and told Mann what we were all thinking: too effing small. Last try, Clippers. There's gotta be somebody who can guard Luka on your squad, right? You know it's not Marcus Morris. Like Pat Bev, Morris has made a name for being a hard-nosed player. Unlike Bev, he's actually got the size to back it up. In those 2020 playoffs, Morris was guarding Luka pretty often, and he had to get a little creative to stop the man. On one play, you can quite clearly see Morris intentionally step on Luka's shoe just to get in his head. When that didn't work, he just decked him in the face. Most of the time when somebody insults Luka, he will burn them on the perimeter, show them up in the post, or just drop 50 on their head. But with Morris, it was personal. So Luka did something you don't often see Luka do. He posterized Marcus Morris. How many times have you actually seen Luka dunk in the half court? It's like seeing a double rainbow, or the Loch Ness Monster. Luka even got heated with Montrezl Harrell on his quest to wreck the entirety of the Clippers franchise. This year, he put the entire team in their place. After the Harden trade looked like a failure, the Clippers quickly turned into the best team in the league. And then, they met Luka in the first round of the playoffs. Goodbye, title hopes. Speaking of the Clippers, you've got to hear what Paul George said about El Matador.
Like, if you talk to him, he gonna talk that to you.
He's cold, man.
He not backing down. He not backing down. I'm not gonna say what he said just because that don't need to get out.
Right.
Some of the that I've heard him say.
AP. Don't do that.
But he a cold killer with some of the that I've heard him say.
What could Luka possibly have said that stunned George like that? Is Luka the best trash talker of all time? Or is this generation of hooper just soft to trash talk? Although, PG doesn't seem too bothered. He's still a basketball fan, just like all of us.
Big fan of Luka.
I agree.
And he talked that too.
Does he?
What? Yes. All of it. Like, he talked.
But seriously, we gotta know what Luka said. To be fair, it's not just the Clippers he picks on, and it's not just superstars. When Luka burned Chris Dunn on this pass, he threw him a smile, knowing that the dude just got cooked. Dunn did not like that. The next play, he stuck a finger right in the laughing Luka's face. They were both given techs, and the referees asked both men to shake hands and move on. But Luka was not about to move on. He's just mad I'm busting his ass, Luka said. And it's true. Dunn can't hold a candle to Luka. Since Luka came into the league in 2018, Dunn has scored 1,650 total points. Since Labor Day, Luka has scored 2,370. So yeah, maybe Dunn got a little sick of the trash talk. Pick on somebody your own size, Luka. There's still one name we haven't mentioned, once thought to be the greatest rivalry in the NBA, but now, not so much. Can you guess who that is? But before that, remember when Luka declared war on an entire franchise? Although calling the Pistons an NBA franchise might be generous, they have been the worst team in the league for just about ever. But in one game, they were keeping pace with the Mavericks. With the game all but over, Luka went over to the Detroit bench to talk a little smack. For a second there, it looked like it might go to blows, but Luka was too busy dropping a 50 burger to be bothered.
That was from the first quarter. He was just chirping. I don't want to say the words, but I have no problem with that. It's basketball. Gets me going for sure.
You talk trash, Luka drops 50. It's basically guaranteed.
It was their assistant coach. He started chirping in the first quarter, so they didn't like when I chirp back. Now they said play basketball. If they're gonna chirp at me, I'm gonna chirp back. I ain't scared.
Well, you definitely played basketball.
This might be the funniest entry on the list. The Mavericks were blowing out the Magic, but Orlando kept fighting back. They're young, they're full of hope. They'll learn when to throw in the towel eventually. Anyway, Jalen Suggs drived to the basket, bumping Luka and drawing a light foul. Mo Wagner, who did nothing on the play, got right in Luka's face and screamed and won. Luka pushed him back immediately, then threw a couple insults Mo's way, including, "Who the f*** are you?" In the next possession, Mo tried guarding Luka, but Luka forced the switch onto Franz Wagner, Mo's much superior brother. And Luka cooked him, while the slow-footed Mo watched on the perimeter. None of the Wagners can guard Luka, he reminded them. Now, every time Luka plays the Magic, he talks trash to Mo. He might not have known who you were before, but he does now. And that is not a good thing. Before we get to the best Luka rivalry, no trash talk video is complete without a little Dillon Brooks. Brooks made fun of Luka for missing a game against Brooks' Rockets, issuing a warning. He said he hopes Luka comes back for the next game so he can guard him. He said that he can't wait to pick up Luka full court and watch him get exhausted. Now, Luka's new teammate Kyrie kept it mature, saying Brooks' mentality is good for the league, but it shouldn't cross a line to personal stuff. Of course, Luka took a different approach. The next time he played Brooks, he toasted him for a 41-9-9 game, reminding Brooks that he's just a role player while Luka is a star. Talk trash to someone who can't back it up, Brooks. Some guys only talk trash from the rub. Which brings us to the rivalry, the next great guard v guard matchup that everybody had been waiting for. Luka Doncic versus Devin Booker. After blowing a 2-0 lead in the 2021 finals, Booker's Suns came back even better, winning 64 games and being the undisputed best in the West. They went up against Luka's Mavs in the 2022 playoffs, going up 2-0. Booker could not stop picking on Luka. He'd slap the ball away, he'd side-eyed Luka. And in one play, he fell crashing to the floor and called it a Luka special. And you know what happens next. Luka came storming back, forcing a Game 7 in Phoenix. The Mavericks then embarrassed Booker on his own court, despite a huge Chris Paul three-pointer to cut the lead to 42.
Is this the dagger?
But since then, the rivalry has died. Devin Booker's dad has won. Luka's ascended past the Clippers, past the Suns. Who is his new enemy? In fact, it might be an old one. Rudy Gobert. Nobody saw the Mavericks in these finals. When the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets in Game 7, they were the darlings of the NBA. And they knew it. Everybody acts tough when they're up. Everybody fouls hard when they're the favorites. But Luka hits a game winner over the so-called best defensive player in the league. That will shut you up for good. Every time somebody talks trash to Luka, they regret it. You'd think by now they'd learn their lesson. Is Booker still Luka's greatest rival, or is it Rudy now? Or is it still the Clippers after all these years? Let us know in the comments, then watch one of these videos next. Listen to The Wrong Opinion, useless NBA trivia, and garbage rankings for more NBA content.